Hi everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, founder of Function Pilates, located here in Tempe, Arizona. And today I'm coming from you from my home studio here. So hope you guys are loving this so far. I definitely am. But just so you guys know, a few weeks ago I released Reformer 101, that workout. So today we're gonna do those same foundational exercise, basically the same sequence, but we're gonna add in a small prop here, okay? So I promise you it's gonna feel like a completely different workout. So we're gonna add in the ball today with every single exercise. And when you place a small ball, let's just say between your knees, it acts as more of a tactile cue. It gives your body more feedback so that your brain can actually respond to it. Your inner thighs suddenly have a job, and the moment really those inner thighs start to engage, the pelvic floor lifts, the deep core activates, and exercises you've done before starts to feel completely different. So that's not the ball making things easier, it's really the ball waking up the muscles that have been asleep. So now, will this feel easier or harder? Honestly, both. So if you've been compensating with your glutes or your outer hips to really get through some of those foundational exercise, the ball is going to expose that. But if you've been struggling to feel your core connect, the ball might actually make things more accessible to you. So because now you have something to connect to. So the ball isn't necessarily easier and it isn't even harder. So it's more honest, and in Pilates, that's always a good thing, right? So 3 things I want you to pay attention to today. Number 1, what's different? You've done these exercises before, so I really want you to stay curious about where the sensation changes and what muscles suddenly show up. Number 2, whether you're squeezing too hard. So we just want 30% of your effort here. It's a gentle, intentional hold. And start to notice if your jaw is clenching or even your outer hips are gripping. You want to take inventory of your body because you've gone a little too far. So I just want you to soften through that. Number 3, connection over completion. So if the ball falls, which it very may well be the case, that's information. So just pick it up, let's reset and keep going here, okay? I will be on my balanced body piece of equipment today. So for those at home using a different model, I will also let you guys know what spring settings I'm using. And if you're in the market to buy your own balanced body piece of equipment, remember you get a 5% discount. So just email me on that and I'll get you set up with it. So drop in the comments if you actually did the Reformer 101 a few weeks ago. I'd love to know what you guys actually noticed. If you can, give this a thumbs up, and if you're ready to feel the difference, I really want you to drop that in the comments as well, how the ball made it different for you in this workout. And if this teaching style resonates with you, understanding the why behind the prop, every spring, every setup choice, this is exactly what we teach inside the Function Pilates Teacher Training Academy. And for teachers who want to go even further, our Master Trainer licensing pathway is open. So links for both of those are in that description box below. Okay, so we're gonna do the same exercises just with a new experience. So let's kind of find out what the ball wakes up for you guys today. So if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and begin. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our footwork spring setting here. I'm gonna go on 2 medium springs and 1 heavy. So that is 2 reds and 1 green on balanced body. And we're gonna go ahead and have our ball handy here, okay? So let's go ahead and lie down on our back. Headrest is about in the halfway position. We're gonna start with a warm up, as I'd like to do before we completely jump into our footwork. So let's take the ball between our knees right here. Okay, feet are on, or let's say heels are on the foot bar for right now. Again, double check to make sure you're in alignment on your headrest. You're not too close to one shoulder block or the other. And so with that being said, let's just relax those ankles. Take a moment here, just sway the knees back and forth, little windshield wiper here as you get acquainted with the pressure of squeezing into the ball as well. Okay, and then we'll come back through the center here. So let's go into some pelvic tilts. I'm gonna take my hands to my rib cage so I can just kind of feel the movement of my breath as I go ahead and start to flatten my back up against the carriage, and then starting to create an exaggerated arch into my back here. So I'm sinking my tailbone more into the carriage, and then I'm going to draw the ribs back together as we knit through it, flattening my low back into the carriage. And then as I begin to arch my back, you can start to feel the ribs expanding from side to side and then starting to cinch back together as we flatten our low back. Let's try that 2 more times. So we are just checking in with our spine, with our mobility of the spine. Flatten through your back. And 1 more. Let's go ahead and arch through the back. That's it. Feel that engagement through the center of your core as you intentionally press your low back to imprint it. And then start to relax. And when you relax here, this is typically your neutral spine, which is all the natural curves of your spine. So from this position, let's take our arms straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, so wrist above the shoulders, and we're gonna begin to gently come into a flex position. So we're gonna nod the chin up to the chest, start to curl our bodies up, hovering those arms over the carriage. Let's take the eyesight down to our belly button, and then start to lower ourselves back down again. Good. So nice and controlled, really focused as we're going through this deliberate flexion of the spine. Lower everything back down again. Good, so inhale it here, exhale, we flex up. Reach long through those fingertips. How much can you drop your shoulders away from your ears? And then lower everything back down again. Beautiful. And exhale, curl up. Good. Activate those triceps. Feel that engagement in the back of your arm. Lower it back down and curl it up. Lift. Reach. Good. Keep that chin close to your chest and your eyesight down so that we don't get into straining our neck at all. Good. Reach about halfway through and lower back down again. I always say, when you feel like your eyesight is up towards the ceiling here, your neck is in limbo. So we want to, again, drop the chin down, eyesight towards the belly button, towards the pelvic floor here. Curl it up, scoop, and reach a little longer. There you go. And starting to feel that heat develop. And I love doing this, a warm-up before our footwork so that you can get total engagement as you're in your footwork series here. 2 more. Exhale to curl. Beautiful. And lower back down. And the why I go so slow and intentional is because I don't want you guys to get sloppy here. Sometimes we're like going so fast through a movement, we start to miss steps and then back down. Beautiful. So from here, I want to go into a little bit of oblique work. So we're going to go ahead and curl ourselves up. We'll stay here. So hold just like that. Again, we got 30% of pressing into that ball. I hope so. We're going to reach those right fingertips towards the foot bar. So you're laterally flexing and then come back through center. So you should feel your obliques reaching, or not reaching, but activated, and come back through center. We're going to go over to the right side. I guess they could be reaching. And then come back through center. Good. How's your neck feeling? If you're feeling a little strain, let's go ahead and curl up a little higher and drop your chin towards your chest here. Reach with the right side, come back through center. Good. Reach over with the left side, come back through center. We'll do 1 more each way. I know we have this. Continue to breathe. Are your feet moving? If they're moving, we're needing to get a little bit more engaged through our core to create stability through our hips, and then hold it right there, guys. Lower everything back down. Beautiful. Okay, so nice and warm through here. Love it. Let's go ahead into our footwork. So our heels are already on the bar. We're already set up for success. So I'm gonna keep that ball exactly where it's at, and you're gonna push out to straight legs. Good. And then come right back in again. We're resisting that spring tension. Exhale, press. And inhale to pull back in. Good. So as you start to go through each of these repetitions, you'll start to notice, what are you feeling here through your inner thighs? Are you squeezing a little too much? Do we need to have a little bit more separation with the feet as we are extending? Good. So Another thing here when we do squeeze through the ball, it helps to also acknowledge our pelvic floor, okay? So we definitely want to strengthen through the pelvic floor because that is one of the 4 components that make up the core here. And then return and press it away and then right back in again. Good. We have another 3. You should be thinking about drawing everything down and in, cinching through the waist, through the rib cage as you press. Again, stabilizing through the hips and return and come back in. Beautiful. Let's continue to keep the ball where it's at. We're just going to adjust to our toes and we're going to go ahead and lift our heels all the way up. So inhale to prepare, exhale, we press out and then pull right back in. So make those adjustments if you need to as you extend and then return back in. Good. Exhale, press, and then inhale. Beautiful. So again, tracking nicely with our knees, looking towards the ceiling, knees in line with the ankles, knees in line with our hip bones here. Again, you can feel your hip bones, okay? They're the ASIS here of the pelvis, and that's exactly where we want this alignment to be. And extend. Beautiful. And if you're not feeling your abs working so much right now, I want you to intentionally start to imprint your low back, like push your low back into the mat here and see if that helps to engage a little bit more appropriately here. And then cut back in. Good. And we'll take it for 2 and 1. Beautiful. Come right back in again. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the ball. We're gonna set it. Keep your toes exactly where they're at. We're just gonna set the ball in between your heels. You're gonna go into your Pilates V. So your toes are on, heels are squeezing into the ball here as best as possible. Inhaling to prepare and exhale, we extend and then return. Knees are tracking with the shoulders, so they go as wide as your shoulders, not so much of a turned out position here, okay? So let's track it right about here, a little bit more narrow, and then return. And this will, again, start to feel more engagement through your inner thighs if you're not feeling that already. And extend and press. Good. Are we pressing equally through both balls of the feet here? Lots of things to just check in with. Extend and back in. 3 and 2 and 1. Good, and return back in. Let's go ahead and grab a hold of that ball. And we're gonna go up to our heels on the foot bar in a wide position. So now go ahead and take those heels all the way out wide. And this time, we're going to place the ball again between the knees, but now you're gonna feel like you're not gonna be able to extend out all the way, and that's okay, because that's not the point here. We don't need to extend out all the way, but flex through those feet. We're gonna go ahead and press out to a point where you can feel those inner thighs really take some heat, and then bring it back in again. Good. Flexing your feet and press, and back in, and press. Good. And again, how much are you pushing into that ball? Little bit, about 30%, like I said. If you're like, nope, Vanessa, I feel like I'm gonna lose the ball, then don't push out as far. Again, you wanna stay in your range of motion and control. And back in, good. About halfway, we got 5. And 4, good, keep those ribs pulling in as you exhale, press out. Inhale, they go wide. Exhale, 2 and 1. Nice. All right, let's come ahead to the toes here. Nice and tall with those heels. Again, we're taking that ball right between our knees. Okay, so it's still wide, but you're gonna feel the difference again here. Inhale to prepare and exhale, we press out. So not even as far as when we could with our heels, right? And press out, staying in control. Are we feeling a little shaky through those inner thighs as we develop the heat here? Good, hovering over that stopper. And return. Press and return. Good job, guys. See, I'm pretty sure this feels a lot different than our Reformer 101 workout in footwork. You should be feeling the lower extremities a lot more. Good. And back in. Let's just do one more. And press. And then bring it back in. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into some calf raises, some well-deserved calf raises, right? So both of our feet are back on the foot bar in a parallel alignment. We're not losing the ball here. So I'm gonna have you take the ball into the palm of your hands, fingertips are reaching up, and I just want you to hover it off your chest here, okay? So little slight engagement with the pectoral muscles and the biceps, and then you're gonna push out to 2 straight legs, okay? You're just holding this position here. And then we're just gonna drop those heels under and then lift them back up. Beautiful. So remember with calf raises, you're in control of coming up just as much as you are going down. So really pay attention that you're not just throwing your heels under the foot bar. It really takes work, it takes some effort, and it takes focus here too. Good. Do you feel like you're lifting your heels up equally, or is one lifting up higher than the other? Those are like great things to take note of as you're going through these exercises, where you're more dominated on one side than the other. Good. And are you applying too much pressure on your big toe or too much pressure on your pinky toe? Drop it down. Let's do 5. And 4. And 3. 2. Good, last time. Hold it right here. Let's soften those knees. Let's bring you back in again. Take a little breather. Again, kind of shake out the neck and the shoulders here. I don't want to create extra tension if we don't need to, because we're going to go into Prances after this. And I really want you to reset your body and your form to execute this in the best possible way, that we don't run our muscles into fatigue is basically what I'm saying. So back to your toes, okay? Let's take your ball right over your chest. A little slight pressure into the ball here as we activate. And sometimes with this, guys, you wanna, again, take note here to drop your shoulders down, because are we sinking up too high? So that tends to happen when we get a little bit tired or we compensate and have other muscles start working for us. So let's press out to, again, straight legs. We're gonna drop the left heel drop the left heel down. Go ahead and bend through the right knee. We're gonna come to 2 straight legs, dropping that right heel down, bending the left knee, back to 2 straight legs. So we'll go at a nice comfortable pace as we switch through this. Again, getting that focus in as you press into the ball, dropping into your midsection. How is that feeling? Is it engaged or is it just hanging out? And then going intentionally through the ankles as you work intrinsically with the feet. Beautiful. And reach and lengthen. And reach through the heel, lengthen. Reach and lengthen. Good. One more to the left. One more to the right, and we bring it back in. Awesome work. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and sit ourselves up. We're gonna go into our supine ab work. So we're gonna drop you guys down to 1 red, 1 yellow on balanced body. So that's a medium and a extra light spring on if you're using anything at home. Headrest is gonna go down flat on this one because we're going to use the ball underneath our sacrum. So once you're here, just go ahead and lie yourself back down, okay? And yes, I did say that. We're going to balance on top of the ball here. So once you're ready, just go ahead and find this underneath in a nice comfortable position here. And once you're there, You're gonna bring your arms straight back up again, okay? Make sure that they are in alignment. It drives me crazy when like one strap feels like it's longer than the other one. So once you're here, find tension and resistance in your straps, okay? Let's bring one leg at a time into tabletop, then we're gonna bring the other one here. And how does this just feel? Like, take note, all of a sudden your abs have to work even harder because we're bringing balance back into this workout. Balance is one of the 8 principles of Pilates here. So with that being said, hug your tabletop together. Let's press those arms straight down, hover off the carriage, and then return and come back up. So you're gonna feel like maybe a little teeter-tottering through your midline here. And especially if you're more dominant, like I said, with our posture, we tend to gravitate to one side. So how can we establish symmetry through our body? How do we make both sides work equally well? At the same time, press it down. Beautiful. And get long through those fingertips. And up. And exhale, press. Hope you guys are focusing. It feels nice to give ourselves this little bit of a challenge here. It's not excessive. It's just a nice little balance challenge. And press it down. 2 and 1. Good. Hold it right here for me. Okay. So your arms are just hovering. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull those abs back in a tiny bit. Let's open your arms wide to a T. And then exhale, just grab that energy and pull in towards your hips. Good. Fingertips reach long. And exhale. Inhale to open. And exhale to pull it back in again. Beautiful. If you feel like your tabletop is losing its form, again, I'm a big fan of bringing those knees in a little closer to your chest. Maybe your feet go up a little higher because I don't want you guys to feel any of your low back kicking in. If anything, your low back should be working with your abs as a team here. Those are some deep stabilizers we're working with. And press. And then return out. Good. Exhale, we have 3. And 2. Last time. We'll give you a little break here. Bring those arms straight up. Find your foot bar, 1 foot at a time. Take a minute here. Okay, little windshield wiper if you like. Sometimes it does feel good with the ball underneath your sacrum to do this. Like, gives you a little bit more flexibility to go through the spine. Okay, so once we're ready, let's go ahead and take our arms back up. We're gonna combine those 2 exercises together to make our circles. So 1 leg at a time, back into tabletop, hold those abs in to stabilize through the hips. Press down with 2 straight arms, hold it here. We open out to a T, we pause. The carriage does not move as we bring the arms straight back up. Exhale, press down. We're gonna go 5. And press. And reach. Good. This is so good to help strengthen through your shoulders. Help to realign through the shoulder socket as well. Good. Last time. Press down. Abs are drawn in and we hold it right here. Let's reverse it, okay? So carriage doesn't move. We go out, exhale, pull it back in. Nice and easy. Now remember, you have to go super slow and controlled, otherwise the carriage is gonna feel like it's getting jerked around here. And we want to, again, be in control of the carriage, not let the carriage control us. Good, and around. 3. 2. And 1. Let's bring those arms right back up again. Find your foot bar, take another little break if you need to. We're gonna finish it off with our tricep presses, okay? So this is the one where you're gonna go ahead and have your elbows next to your rib cage. And I want them hovering off the carriage. You don't have to necessarily be puncturing them in. I would let you know if I want you guys to do that, okay? But for today, I just want them hovering. So when we're here, you're gonna go ahead and have those fingertips looking up at the ceiling. Take 1 leg again into tabletop. Keep the pressure into your handles. And go ahead and bring the leg back up with the right side. From here, abs are drawn in, neck and shoulders soften, and exhale, straighten your arms. And then bend. Good. And press. The work is being facilitated from the back of the arm. Again, this is our muscle focus, is the triceps here. Think about not crowding through the shoulders. And what I mean by crowding, I mean try to avoid rounding through the shoulders. Good. Press for 7. Hug those knees. Let's point out through your toes. 6. And 5. And 4. Good. Press for 3. Feel a little warmth there. 2. Keep that breath. Exhale. And arms go straight up towards the ceiling. Find one foot down at a time. Awesome. Okay, so hang up those handles here for me, and then let's go ahead and carefully remove the ball out from underneath us. Good. So if you had loops on, you're already good, but we're gonna change out our spring tension. So we're gonna come to a medium and a light spring. So for balanced body, that's gonna be a red and a blue. And then we're gonna go ahead, change out into our loops. So keep your ball nearby. Again, if you're already in your loops, you're already ahead. And how are we feeling so far, guys? Feels a lot different when we're adding a prop in. And this time, the ball will go between our ankles and our knees. We'll play around with that. So if you prefer to have your headrest back in that halfway up position, I would recommend doing that now. And then we'll turn ourselves around. Let's get ourselves back on our back. And let's see here. So just, again, have that ball handy. Let's take one foot at a time in. Find that tension. And carefully, let's go ahead and bring it up. So let's start with the ball between our knees here, okay? There we go. So let's make sure we have some wiggle room. We're not like completely up against the shoulder blocks, but we are in 2 straight legs. We're gonna start with our ankles above our knees, knees above our hips here, okay? So when we're doing these exercises, our TikTok here, lower and lifts basically, I want you to feel like you are staying grounded into the carriage. And what I mean by that is that we're going to avoid lifting our tailbone up off the carriage. So you guys see the difference there where I'm not completely flat into the carriage. So I want you guys to pay attention to what that's feeling like in your body and to avoid that. And then from here, when we lower our legs down, I want you to, again, not create that arch in your back here, okay? Again, I'm exaggerating, but this is what will happen if you're going a little too far than your body is ready for, okay? So let's just play with that. We'll start to get more acquainted with how that feels, but from here, get a nice little pressure there with your knees, and exhale, we press it down. And then inhale right back up. Good. So think of a big rolling brush. I think last time I used the imagery of painting the wall. So again, think of like those long paintbrushes where you're rolling up and down. Think of that as you are going through this exercise here. And sometimes I even like to remind myself by placing my hands here right on the lower portion of my abdominals is to fully engage. Fully engage to create that hip stability. Good. So inner thighs have to get turned on here to help support the hips and being stable as well. But the muscle focus here is going to be inner thighs, right? We're feeling that. And think of them kind of wrapping in and out into the hamstrings. Press 3. And 2. Good. Last time. And let's bring you back up. Good. Let's take the ball here. Okay. Let's place it between our ankles. Let's challenge that bad boy a little bit here. So balls between the heels. Let's be in our externally rotated position there. Knees are in line with the shoulders. And as I said in Reformer 101, the regular workout, I wanted you guys to avoid bring your knees all the way in. So again, same with this exercise. I want the knees more over the hips here, okay? So a nice V position there with your feet. Exhale, push out to straight legs. And then we bend. And bend. Again, if you drop the ball, do not worry about it. It's just, again, it's information. Like our bodies tell us stuff all the time. And it's like, thank you for letting me know that I was like super weak in that area and that I need to really focus on strengthening that. So I just always find like the humor in things when I'm exploring different exercises or different props for that matter. So hopefully you guys can find humor in that if you struggle with any of these exercises. And exhale, press away. And then right back in again. Good. I think we'll do about 2 more here. And keep those feet flexed. Last time. And then return back in. Good. So from here, let's take those legs straight up. We're going to go into our well-deserved circles. So like we did with our calf raises, I'm going to have you guys engage again through your the front of your chest. So you're holding onto the ball, fingertips up towards the ceiling, elbows wide, and we're going to begin to press down. And again, watch the ropes here, guys. Circle around and return back up again. Nice, beautiful stretch around the hip socket, creating a little bit more of that synovial fluid for lubrication around the joints. And take it around and press. So once you get the hang of the rhythm, you have a good flow, think of your abdominal muscles helping to navigate the legs here, okay? I'll say that again. Think of your abdominal muscles helping to navigate the legs. So you're putting a little extra attention and engagement in your midsection as you do this. Again, that's why we don't rush through Pilates. Even though it feels like we want to move faster in order to create a stretch, you wouldn't believe how much, sweat, I should say, not a stretch too, but you wouldn't believe how slow you can go and honestly feel the work even more and start to sweat. Good, let's do this one more time. We'll stop as we meet at the top here, and then let's go ahead and reverse the direction. Get a little pressure there into that ball again, shoulders down, elbows wide. We circle out and return back up. Good, out, and bring it back up. Good. Use that breath to help with the movement and the guidance of the limbs working together. How are we feeling? Hopefully we're feeling pretty good here. Good, let's focus. We have 3. Inhale back up. Exhale, sweep it around. And inhale back up. And last time, sweep and right back up again. Beautiful. Okay, take a little minute here to kind of rest those arms because we have our openings. So with our openings, we're gonna come back to 45, heels together, toes apart. This is the one where we're gonna slide our heels out wide, okay? And then they'll gradually pull back together here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take our legs out, just like so, okay? Find our arm position here, fingertips up. Exhale, squeeze those inner thighs together. Think of your heels as magnets, okay? They're just pulling together to meet in the midline. And open. And exhale. And open. And squeeze and pull in. And open. Good. So again, we're really trying to take each of these exercises and create a full body experience as we go through our workout. And pull in for 4. Good, shoulders down. Exhale, 3. Just think of your heels sliding on top of the surface of the table. 2. Inhale, open, and 1. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring those in. Maybe we're gonna take a very well rested break here to stretch out into that butterfly or Buddhist position here. So just take a moment to breathe. Settle into it. You guys are doing awesome. And then when you are ready, we'll go ahead and carefully remove the feet from the loops. Find your foot bar right away, and then go ahead and if you need to set the ball down, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so go ahead and carefully, let's go ahead and stand up. And we're gonna take it into a nice stretch. So let's come down to a medium spring. So I'm gonna remove my blue and I'm just gonna have one red on. And I wanna use the ball in this stretch because it's going to not only just feel really nice on the knee, but it's also gonna create a little instability, which I prefer to work on as balance, okay? So right foot up against the shoulder block, knee on top of the ball, and then adjust your left foot so that it is, I like the big toe right underneath the bolt. So find somewhere that makes sense to you on your piece of equipment. And then we're gonna go ahead with our palms here on the foot bar, go ahead and bend significantly into your left knee, and then go ahead with 2 straight arms. So I love, again, the ball here. Not only does it feel really nice and comfortable, especially if you have sensitive kneecaps, but you get a deeper hip flexor stretch. And I don't know, but I have really tight hip flexors. So for those that are with me, you guys know, and you're probably feeling that too. So it does feel really nice. And then from here, we'll come back and let's take it again. Hips are nice and squared for our hamstring stretch, and then press yourself out again. Now, again, focus on those hips staying super squared, and once you're there, you can go ahead and keep your neck in alignment with your spine. Press out a little bit more, drop your shoulders down, and let's bring you back in again. Let's do this one more time. So you're gonna go into your lunge, your Eve's lunge. Tuck your tailbone under maybe a little bit more to feel that hip flexor. Relax your toes. Try not to over grip the floor. And start to bring yourself back up. Square those hips out. Left leg is straight. Press on out. Nice. Fingertips are open. I'm a huge fan of keeping an open palm when we're doing every single exercise, unless for some reason I specifically say to hold on to something. Just try to make it really open so you're not overly gripping and tensing. It sends the signal all the way up to our neck and shoulder. And then come right back in again. Okay, let's take it to the other side. So grab your ball and we're gonna go ahead and place that. Left foot up against the shoulder block. Again, find your positioning. Make sure it feels okay. And then we'll push out to a nice deep lunge here. So I'm gonna move my foot up a little bit more. Okay, arms are straight. New side, new feeling. And then I like the knee right above the ankle here. So make sure you take note and you pay attention to make those adjustments for yourself. Deep breath. And then return back in to a straight right leg. Again, I have a mirror in front of me, so I'm paying attention to what my hips are doing. It does really help to see. Again, with this one, you want to think about your right hip going backwards, left hip coming forward in order to feel a really deep hamstring stretch here, okay? And then come back in. Let's take it down into your low lunge, your Eve's lunge. Again, square out those hips, tuck the tailbone under a little bit more, and that'll help to increase the hip flexor stretch if you need it to be more. Try not to overly grip through the floor. And then let's go ahead and come back in. Finish it with another hamstring stretch here. And square off those hips. Think of that right hip going back, left hip going forward, 2 straight arms. We're not getting lazy. We're not gonna go ahead and soften into our elbows here. Unless you do hyperextend your elbows, then definitely micro bend at your elbow joint so you're not completely in hyperextension. Good. And then let's bring you all the way back in again. Excellent. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into arm work. I'm gonna grab the box. We did that last time. So grab hold of your box, and we're gonna go ahead and, whoops, let's bring this into a long box position. We're gonna use our ball. You're gonna see how, but place this all the way up. And I'm gonna keep my loops on, keeping the medium spring. So the one red spring, the medium, and we are gonna go ahead and take our headrest down flat. So as you take a seat here, we're gonna go ahead and place the ball underneath, okay? So actually, before we do that, grab a hold of one of your loops here. Let's take that, then grab a hold of the other one. So what you're doing is we're just gonna go ahead and find a point here where you can feel the off balance, right? Okay, so you're not moving your feet in this exercise. Everything's still gonna come from the upper body, but I just want you to feel the instability this creates and how much more focus you have to do. So chest expansion. We're gonna go ahead nice and tall through our torso here. Fingertips are reaching towards the floor. Exhale to pull and press back, and then slowly bringing it forward. Good. Exhale, pull and press it back. If this is too hard for you to do with your feet on top of the ball, we're just gonna go ahead and place that ball in between your knees, and that also will help to bring back some of that pelvic floor engagement and bring it through. Chest is open. And what we're looking for here is that we're not collapsing through our spine. So we're not like this. Again, this is overly exaggerated, but I really want you guys to puff your chest up. Really think about like you're balancing a book at the top of your head. And pull straight back. We got it. We're gonna do 3 more. Press. Palms are open. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and keep the ball where it's at if you're feeling okay with it. And we're gonna take it into our reverse hug-a-tree. I'm gonna actually scoot back a little bit. Yeah, just so I can feel more stable. So from here, we're gonna start to open out and then pull it back in again. So you don't have to come all the way in, okay? So otherwise the carriage is gonna crash. But we're gonna go ahead and allow this muscle engagement to come from your back. And how's our wrist? Our wrist should be in a nice neutral position here, that we're not breaking the wrists when we're doing this exercise. And pull. Good. And pull. 5 more. Nice and tall for me. Think of your belly button coming in close to your lumbar spine, to your low back. 3, 2, and last time. Beautiful. Come right back in. Okay, so for those that are wanting to stay with the ball underneath your feet, go for it, but I'm also gonna demonstrate what it would look like if we had the ball there right in between our knees. So feet are now flat against the headrest. We're into our butterfly. So we're gonna take this right above our elbows here, okay? So super tall again, palms are looking at our eyesight, and we're gonna go ahead and open out and bring it back in. Good. Out. So again, a gentle squeeze there with the ball. Super tall with the torso. And we are isolating through the back of our shoulders here. So really great to feel the shoulder getting stronger. Again, there's about 90% of muscle in our shoulder, so it's really important that we do everything we possibly can to avoid getting an injury in our shoulder. And bring it for 4. Good, and 3. And 2. Last time. And bring it back in. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and hang up those loops, and we are gonna turn our box into short box, which is horizontal. So you're gonna go ahead and step off carefully, put the ball down. We're gonna move this right about here. Make sure it's centered on your carriage nicely. And I'm gonna stay with the medium spring just because I am in the loops here too. So again, you can stick with the medium spring, or if you need to go down to a lighter spring, go ahead and do that. And then find your placement. And I'm gonna take this time, the ball's gonna go between the ankles. So let's get a sense of what that feels like now. And then you can reach around carefully, grab a hold of your loops. I'm gonna go into our serving here. Okay, so feet are flat against, and actually, I'm just moving myself over a little bit. So make sure that you feel centered on your box as well. So elbows are in right next to your ribs here. Palms are looking up at the ceiling and a gentle pressure there with the ball. Let's go ahead and push on out. Straight arms and return. So we just finished working the back of the shoulder. This is targeting the front of the shoulder. Press. Back in and reach. Beautiful. So we're serving our platter, take it away. We serve and we take away. And we got 5 and 4, 3. Good, nice and tall. 2, remember we don't want to collapse through our spine. 1 more and bring it back in. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go into salute. So we're gonna go ahead and just slightly angle our bodies forward here, and our hands are gonna go right above our eyebrows, and you're gonna straighten your arms and then return back in. So another tricep focused exercise. I tend to press where the wall and the ceiling meet, but I don't want that to mean that you guys are gonna look up, because then that's breaking our neutral spine position. But think of your elbows reaching in opposite directions of the room. Try to keep your elbows in space. What I mean by that is sometimes when we're working through these movements, our arms tend to want to drop down. So I really want you to pay attention that they are staying in the same place. Okay, let's go 3 and 2. Keep that equal pressure into your feet. And 1, and bring it back down. Lovely. Let's go ahead and hang that up. And let's remove the ball here. Okay, we're gonna use our box. So keep it close by, but we're gonna go into our mermaid. So nice lateral flexion. And I'm just gonna set that right there. So again, I'm on my medium spring. I'm not gonna change anything. And we're gonna go ahead and come into our zigzag position with our legs here, okay? So this time we're gonna add some arm movement. So we are going to apply a little bit of pressure into the ball as we go into our side stretch, and also some oblique work here, okay? So starting with our right palm out, looking up at the ceiling, your shin is up against the shoulder blocks here in the zigzag position. You're gonna go ahead and push away from the foot bar as you reach up and over, okay? And then go ahead and get tall. So allowing for yourself to have this nice stretch and return back down. So because I gave you guys a ball to hold on to, I want you to pay attention. What is my shoulder doing? Is it gonna creep up towards my ear, or are you gonna be able to, again, keep your shoulder locked into good placement here? Yes. Good. Now 4 more, but we're gonna go ahead and really engage through the obliques here, okay? So let's take it back over. And let's go ahead and inhale, return and resist to come up. I want you to think of your torso being really heavy, okay? So that's the best thing I can say to you. So really, really heavy as you lift to come back up. And then bring it back over. And then again, really, really heavy and lift to come back up. 1 more time. We go over and we lift and then resist. Excellent. Okay, other side. Let's turn ourselves around and set ourselves up here with our zigzag, and we'll take our ball into our left hand here, okay? So you get a nice comfortable grip, right hand to the foot bar, and here we go. We're gonna reach up and over, keep that shoulder down, and then come back up. Good. And same with your right shoulder. So the right shoulder is the one that's pushing away from the foot bar. So making sure that that one's not creeping up towards your ear as well. It's staying plugged down and in. Nice. One more time. Let's stretch. Shine those ribs up towards the ceiling. And then come back up. 4 more. Let's go ahead and total engagement here. Reach it up and over. This is where you're gonna think about your torso being super heavy and get taller. Good. Are we feeling the difference on those? Or you're like, I have no idea. Just feels like the same thing. That's okay. Because the more we get like into awareness with our body, it eventually is like a light bulb moment. It just clicks one day and you're like, oh my God, I totally get this now. We're over, this is our last one. And then nice and tall, get up, 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 nice and high, and bring it back down. Beautiful job. Okay. We're gonna finish it off with some extension here. So this is all about like strengthening our back muscles. And I'm going to actually, I know we did our long box. We did swan last time, and we are going to do just a little different version of swan, okay? So it doesn't matter, keep the red spring, keep the medium spring on, but you guys are gonna use your ball with this, and you're gonna go ahead and lie down onto your stomach. Foot bar can stay exactly where it's at, because we're really not gonna use it at this point. So it's just there to give you some guidance on where to land and where not to land. So again, this is extension. I'm a big fan of having your feet separated in extension. I don't want you guys to compress through your low back or your spine. So again, think about your legs floating off to have total engagement. And then you guys are gonna go ahead and hold onto the ball, and we're gonna reach overhead here. This is already work, right? So from here, you're gonna go ahead and start to lift your chest as you go ahead, lift your arms and your legs up, and then lower that down. But try not to have your arms touch the foot bar. And we're gonna lift it up and then lower back down. Okay, so let's take an inhale. We reach up as we inhale and exhale. And lift up and exhale. Good. And then lift up and exhale. Beautiful. You guys have another appreciation of babies doing tummy time, right? They didn't like being on their stomach. I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way right now. And let's do 3 more. So good though, we need this. When do we spend so much time on our stomach doing this? And 2, and 1 more. Good work, guys. Okay, go ahead and step on off. Put that ball down. We're gonna finish it with a couple roll downs. Woo, feeling the heat. Okay, so again, standing about hip distance apart there with your feet. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and reach our arms up overhead. Dive yourself down. Reaching comfortably towards the floor. Good, and then slowly rolling yourself back up again. Restacking. Shoulders roll back. 1 more time. Reach all the way up. Let's take it all the way down. Reach comfortably, hang out for a moment. Just do a nice check-in with your body, how it's feeling from when it was beginning at the start of class. Reorganize as we rebuild the spine. Tall, shoulders back. Beautiful job. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. I really hope you guys enjoyed this foundational workout, just using the ball as a prop, and just really creates a whole new workout flow. Being intentional with your movements, with control. So again, if you like this, hit a thumbs up, drop a comment what you guys felt in this workout too. And again, I will see you guys next week. So take care.